You are listening to Season 2 of The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, the short and often daily podcast in which I chronicle my life and attempt to be a writer by writing daily. Sometimes. Hello, today is Saturday the 20th of September 2025 and you're listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer. Now, you're going to get a sense of deja vu from this podcast because in a podcast I recorded 5 days ago, I basically said I'm not going to get any writing done today because I'm flying to New York later today. Guess what? Today, I'm not going to get any writing done today because I'm flying to New York later in the day. It's actually a little bit later than it was 5 days ago. I'm on the later flight. But so it's going to be a similar pattern to last week. Basically, I won't get any writing done today. Was it last week? Technically, it was this week, actually. But anyway, I won't get any writing done today. I overnight in New York, and then we come back what is technically the wee small hours of Monday morning UK time, but is very late in the evening New York time. And I am going to attempt to do some more writing on the Triptych Book 2, also known as Self-Portrait. See how I slipped that in? Whilst I'm away. I will try and live stream it. I've definitely live streamed from that hotel before, and I do know that their Wi-Fi is good enough to support me doing a live stream. I've not got many more plans for that trip, so that's basically what I'm going to do. I've written now, I think as of yesterday, about 2,000 words of chapter 11, which puts my word, I mean, they're not edited and signed off, so they don't count towards my target, but if they were, that would leave me on nearly 19,000 words. This chapter is going to be a reasonably long one. As I've said before, it introduces a new character, and a few other bits and pieces, some quite nasty situations actually, but then hey, it's me writing, all my stuff has moments of nastiness in it. Yeah, so that's good. And then the other thing I'm going to very quickly talk about, now I'm going to be very careful what I say here because I don't want to betray any confidences or anything, but there is a particular artist that I follow on Instagram, and she's done songs in the past. She's done a really entertaining well, it's not an entertainment podcast. It's basically a story. It's something that happened to her professionally a few years back, which was really interesting. And it's almost the podcast is very, very good. Once I feel comfortable saying who it is. It's nobody you'll have heard of, I suspect. But once I'm explaining this really badly. Anyway, I don't need to talk about the previous stuff. So she's recorded a song which got picked up by, I think, the BBC in 2019 as like a potential emerging talent. And then obviously the pandemic happened and she had this job which kind of ate up her life and then spat her out a little bit, which is what the podcast is about. It's very, very good. But she's returned to the recording the music and has been, for the last few years, been putting together an album. And she's actually a Mexican immigrant living in the UK. I think she's very, very talented. I really liked the original song that came out in 2019. And yeah, she's been working on a full album. And I've just occasionally sent her feedback on bits and pieces, with the music. I sent her feedback about the original song that I liked, and I, said about the podcast and what I liked about it. And she's actually asked me to be a beta listener on her new album, which I'm absolutely thrilled about. So she wants proper feedback. So what I'm going to do, so she sent me the lyrics and in the form of a PDF booklet thing, and then all the songs are on I think it's on SoundCloud. I think they're all private files, though. You have to have the link to get to the particular playlist that has all these they're not demos. They are recorded professionally, but the mixing hasn't been done yet. So, yeah, so she just wants some feedback, and I'm absolutely thrilled to do it. I've already listened to the album. I'm not going to give her the feedback now because I'm going to work soon, basically. And also I listened to it last night, and I listened to it kind of, well, firstly just being a little bit thrilled to be asked, and then kind of just getting a feel for what I like, what I don't like, and there's nothing. I mean, what I don't like is not really. It's not about not liking it. She's asked for honest feedback, and like there's a really good track where I'm not even going to be able to name it because I don't want to give any hints. There's a really good track where there's a final rendition of the chorus, which I just feel should be a bit more rousing. There needs to be an extra musical element added so it feels like a bit of a crescendo for the song. That's the kind of feedback that I'm going to give. Also, she's got an amazing voice and doesn't harmonise with herself, doesn't multi-track, which I think, again, she would sound great doing that. So that's the kind of feedback I'm going to give. Some of the songs, some of the lyrics are absolutely superb. Now, lyrics are what I'm into. It's one of the reasons I'm a huge Pet Shop Boys and Neil Tennant fan is I love his lyrics. And some of these are really interesting lyrics. So I'm looking forward to... I'm going to just listen to the album today, or it's not the whole album, it's about half the album, but I listened to it today, but I am going to listen to it with like a track at a time, with the lyrics in front of me, and give us some proper feedback. So that's really cheered me up. She actually put out a note, because I've sent her messages in the past saying, I like this, I like that. But she's never actually, she put a note on Instagram saying, I've got an album, I'd like some sort of feedback if anybody's interested. And apparently I was because I have spoken to her in the past about a podcast and a music. She actually had me in mind but didn't want to ask. Isn't that nice? So she when I reached out and said, I'd love to do that, she actually said, I was really hoping you'd be one of the ones that asked, because there's a couple of people that have, messaged me in the past about it, and that's brilliant. And she sent me the stuff. So I'm thrilled by that. I'm going to do it, let's say, I can't even talk. I'm going to do it properly. But that's not today, because I'm going to be on an aeroplane and going to New York. In fact, I think by the time I'm in New York, it's technically tomorrow. Anyway, I've overshot a little bit, but all being well, I will talk to you tomorrow from New York. I'm even going to try and task myself with recording it outside instead of in the hotel room. Thank you for listening. Take care. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. You have been listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer. For more information about what I'm writing, go to linktr.ee/Richard Writes, capital R, capital W, where you can find details of my website and social media. I may see you there.